Why can't they just stop? It's a question filled with frustration, confusion, and sometimes judgment. But what if the answer has less to do with willpower and more to do with brain science? Addiction isn't a moral failing. It's a chronic brain disorder that costs the global economy hundreds of billions of dollars and tears countless lives apart. When we tell someone to just try harder, we're ignoring the complex story happening inside their brain. Today we're going to pull back the curtain and explore the science behind that story. So what exactly is addiction? Officially, it's defined as a substance use disorder characterized by the compulsive use of a substance despite harmful consequences. Imagine feeling an overwhelming craving you can't control, and even when you want to stop, you find yourself relapsing. That's the reality for many. This happens because addiction physically changes the brain's circuits, the very systems that manage reward, motivation, memory, and self-control. It's crucial to understand that not everyone who uses a substance becomes addicted. A mix of our genes, our environment, past trauma, and our mental health all play a role in determining our risk. And when relapse happens, it's not a sign of failure. It's a sign that the treatment plan needs a tweak, just like with any other chronic illness. Let's dive into the brain itself. We all have something called a reward pathway. Think of it as your brain's good job system. When you eat a delicious meal or achieve a goal, your brain releases a chemical called dopamine, which makes you feel good and motivates you to do that thing again. It's a natural, healthy process, but addictive substances hijack this system. They flood the brain with an unnatural, overwhelming surge of dopamine. It's like turning a gentle stream into a roaring fire hose. Your brain is not equipped to handle this. Over time, it adapts by becoming less sensitive. This is called tolerance. Suddenly, you need more and more of the substance just to feel normal, let alone good. The pleasure you once sought is gone, replaced by a desperate need to escape the negative feelings that arise when you're not using. This is the dark side of addiction. As the brain adapts to the constant dopamine floods, it dials down the feel-good signals and ramps up the feel-bad signals, like stress and anxiety when the substance is absent. At the same time, the parts of your brain responsible for good judgment and self-control, the prefrontal cortex, which acts like the brain's brakes, start to weaken. The brakes are failing and the accelerator is stuck to the floor. Your brain also begins to form powerful associations. The sight of a certain place, the smell of something, or even a particular feeling can trigger an intense craving, a phenomenon called cue reactivity. What started as a choice, a voluntary action, slowly morphs into a compulsion. It's no longer about seeking pleasure, it's about escaping pain and quieting the storm inside. It's a vicious cycle. Use leads to brain changes, which lead to stronger cravings, which lead to more use. So why do some people fall into this cycle while others don't? It's not random. Science shows that genetics account for about 40 to 60% of a person's risk for addiction. If you have a family history, you might be more vulnerable. But genes aren't the whole story. Your environment is incredibly powerful. Things like early life stress, trauma, peer pressure, and even economic hardship can dramatically increase your risk. Age is also a huge factor. Starting to use substances during adolescence, when the brain is still developing its crucial control circuits, is like building a house on an unstable foundation. It's far riskier. And very often, addiction doesn't travel alone. It's frequently linked with other mental health conditions like anxiety, depression, or ADHD, with each one feeding the other in a difficult-to-break loop. Let's move from the lab to real life. Imagine this voice. At first, it was my little secret, a way to turn off the noise in my head. A drink here, a pill there. It felt like I was in control. But then the switch flipped. The cravings started waking me up. The rituals took over my day. I wasn't using it to have fun anymore. I was using it just to feel like a normal person. This fictional story reflects the real experiences of millions. It's a journey from perceived control to a life ruled by compulsion. But even in the deepest despair, there is hope. The brain's incredible ability to change and heal, known as neuroplasticity, means that recovery is absolutely possible. With the right support, the brain can begin to rewire itself. And thanks to science, we now have more tools than ever to help that process along. So, how do we treat addiction? Science gives us a roadmap. For opioid, alcohol, and nicotine addiction, medication-assisted treatments, or MAT, can be life-saving. Medications like methadone or naltrexone work by stabilizing brain chemistry, reducing cravings, and easing withdrawal symptoms, giving a person the stability needed to engage in therapy. But medication is often just one piece of the puzzle. Behavioral therapies are essential. Cognitive behavioral therapy, or CBT, helps people identify the triggers and thought patterns that lead to use and develop new coping skills. Motivational interviewing is a collaborative approach that helps a person find their own internal motivation to change, rather than having it forced upon them. And newer approaches, like mindfulness-based therapies, are showing great promise in helping people manage cravings by changing their relationship to their own thoughts and feelings. Beyond individual therapy, social support is a critical component of lasting recovery. Peer support groups like 12-step programs or other mutual aid communities provide a sense of belonging and understanding that is hard to find anywhere else. They prove you're not alone. Successful recovery also means addressing the whole person, not just the substance use. This includes treating co-occurring mental health conditions and addressing practical needs like stable housing, employment, and healthy relationships. It's also vital to reframe how we see relapse. Relapse is not a failure. In a chronic illness, there are often flare-ups or setbacks. Addiction is no different. It doesn't mean the treatment didn't work. It means the plan needs to be adjusted. The goal isn't perfection. It's progress, resilience, and learning from each step of the journey. Looking ahead, the future of addiction treatment is incredibly exciting. Scientists are working on precision medicine, aiming to tailor treatments to an individual's unique genetic or neurological profile. Advanced brain imaging is allowing us to map the exact circuits that are hijacked by addiction, opening the door for highly targeted interventions like non-invasive brain stimulation. We're also learning more about behavioral addictions, like those to gaming, gambling, or social media, and understanding how they overlap with substance use disorders. All of this research is paving the way for new therapies and a future where recovery is even more accessible and effective. So let's circle back to where we started. Addiction is not a choice or a moral failing. It is a complex brain disorder shaped by a powerful mix of genetics, environment, and personal history. It hijacks the brain's reward system, weakening our self-control and turning voluntary use into a powerful compulsion. But here's the most important takeaway. Recovery is possible. The brain can heal, and science has provided us with a growing toolkit of effective treatments, from medications to therapy to community support. The path isn't always straight, but with compassion, understanding, and science-backed care, meaningful, lasting change can and does happen every single day. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more content that explores the science behind the human mind. See you next time.